Rotten. Rotten! Ah, shit. Even my steaks are rotten. Should have actually thought about that. Oops. Yeah, I am a little sick here, so we're a little fucked. In a way. Rotten. Wonder if we can make beef jerky or some shit. It'd be pretty cool. Hopefully the sun is coming up. I can't really tell here. So this is my little hidey hole here. I'm gonna hopefully make enough chests, or I'm sorry, crates, just to fill up this whole entire board here. What I really want to do is find a place that I can put up my big tent, because I actually have a military tent here. Yep. Okay. I have a feeling that this thing is not going to come out the way I want it. Because I do need the sun to be out, to be able to spot, like, the trees and stuff, kind of. Because I have my base set up in a way that my, that my oh yeah, so yeah, I have my base set up in a way that it's basically in between a bunch of trees. It's kind of like flossed in, as it were. But yeah, I mean, it works for me, so, you know, can't complain. Oh shit, 99, let's finish here. I have a feeling that it's about to turn into night here. See, the issue I have right now is that if I expand my territory, then I'm essentially increasing the chances that somebody may stumble into my plot here. So if I do that, then it's kind of like screwing myself in the long run. So of course I'm trying to avoid that, but of course, you know, what am I to do, you know? Obviously, I'm sick, but I'm in a low pop server. That's where I like to keep my bases. So yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna scroll through the news here. Alright. Yeah, well, have you seen this? What is this called? The Pennsylvania senatorial elections, the Senate race there. It's a real joke. I mean, if somebody had a stroke, I mean, I had a grandpa who had a stroke, and he is cognitively aware. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a smart guy, but he's a little delayed. Let's just say. Okay. I think I have some articles that I would like to read. Biden appoints ex-Clinton aide Podesta, oh, John Podesta, Podesta, whatever, as climate advisor, sparking scathing social media reactions. It's interesting, like only social media reactions, not like just general people talking. Twitter users voiced outrage after the Biden White House announced Friday that former Clinton campaign manager and Obama counselor John Podesta will assume the role of senior advisor to the president for clean energy and innovation implementation. We are fortunate that John Podesta will lead our continued innovation and implementation. His deep roots in climate and clean energy policy and experience at senior levels of government mean we can truly hit the ground running to take advantage of this massive clean energy opportunity in front of us, President Biden said in a statement tacked onto the press release. The move basically created shockwaves from conservative voices on Twitter, reinvigorating critiques of Podesta's leaked emails from 2016, WikiLeaks release, and pointing to alleged corruption within the Biden administration. Corruption 101 tweeted former Texas House candidate Patrick McGinnis. And that is very interesting. So the Republican strategy, C.P. Pearson, ripped Podesta as a Clinton crony in his own reaction, echoing the label from other conservatives across the platform. Some pointed out to the staggering $370 billion in climate spending found. Fuck. $370 billion dollars in climate spending fund Podesta will oversee in his new role. $370 billion, really? And are we printing this money? Like, you know what I mean? Including Becker News chief editor and CEO Kyle Becker, who tweeted articles on the former Clinton aide with the caption, "Meet John Podesta." He is a veteran political operative. He is now Biden's climate advisor. He will manage a $370 billion slush fund. Meet John's brother Tony Podesta. He was paid $500,000 by blacklisted Chinese firm from Huawei to lobby the Biden White House. Any questions? That's very true. I can't believe that nobody got arrested from the Clinton fucking camp there. Liberals' trip to Trump rally goes viral. We experienced incredible kindness. A California man decided to reach across the political aisle and strike up a conversation with Trump supporters at a recent rally in Tennessee with the goal of making 100 new friends. 100 new friends, TikTok user Samuel Donner joined Fox and Friends on Tuesday to share his story after the video of his experience went viral. Growing up in LA, you think that events are going to be like very aggressive, Donner told host Steve Dochi. Uh, I was absolutely baffled that people wanted to talk and actually be friends with me. The viral video showed highlights from various conversations and interaction with Trump supporters, many of whom would agreed to be friends with, and one in particular invited Donner to join her in Bible study. That's awesome. Donner said in the video, these interactions changed how his views on America, changed his views America, and huh? Oh, sorry, I'm fucking dumb as shit. Donner said this in the video that these interactions, yeah, Donner said in the video these interactions changed how he views America and challenged his prior notions about Trump supporters. The California teen also acknowledged that despite heightened political tensions, people have more in common than they are led to believe. We're just trying to find common ground between humans, Donner said. I think at the end of the day, humans have a lot more common ground than they are led to believe. If you can start those conversations, you can actually understand where the common ground is. Donner said that he thought initially no one at the Trump rally would want to talk to him. There were a couple of people who didn't want to talk to me, but overall, everyone was super friendly. I mean, you know, in any crowd of people, there's always going to be me, an antisocial person, um, who's just there for whatever the event is. It's not really that I'm really, there to make friends or talk to people. You don't know what they're really going through in their lives, but, I'm glad that there are people out there that are, taking the initial step to invoke the process of, I guess, unification, even though, remember, Biden said he was the great unifier. Where did that go, right? Biden repeats shifting claims of civil rights activism in 1960. President Biden repeated a claim Monday that he was very engraved in the civil rights movement in the 1960s, a story that has changed as the president has told it over the years. Biden said that he worked in the movement as a kid during a Labor Day event in Pennsylvania on Monday. The president had repeated the what the fuck? Numerous times. The president had repeated this incident numerous times during his career, despite himself contradicting the claim on at least one occasion. I got very engaged, in my case, in the civil rights movement, Biden had remarked. As a kid, I worked a lot in the movement. Last year, during a White House event, he came out of the civil rights movement. 1 year earlier, during a town hall with the National Association of Advancement of Colored People, he said that he was involved in the desegregation of restaurants. However, in 1987, Biden acknowledged that he was not a civil rights activist. He never marched during the movements. During the 60s, I was in fact very concerned about the civil rights movement, Biden said, who was running for president at the time, said during a speech in 1987. I am not an activist. I am working at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved in what they were thinking, in what they were feeling, and what? Wow, that didn't make sense even back then. But I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma, he continued. I was not anywhere else. That same year, Miami Herald reported that Biden admitted he was never an activist and did not march in Selma, and that the Vietnam War was not a big issue when he was in college. I was a middle-class kid in a sport coat, Biden said in September 1987, according to the Herald. During the campaign that year, advisors had gently reminded Biden that he never marched during the movement. The New York Times reported in 2019 he continued to retell the story anyway. While the Biden administration appears to have been present at the walkouts of a segregationist restaurant in the 1960s, I'm sorry, while Biden, not his administration. Frank Hutch, the black student who was denied service during the incident, was told the Pennsylvania Inquirer in 1987, that Biden was oblivious about the situation. According to the Washington Post, Hutchins said Biden and the other white students at the restaurant were not aware of what happened to him. In addition, a related claim Biden had repeated is that he was once arrested during a civil rights protest, which was rated false by PolitiFact earlier this year. There is evidence a protest occurred near Biden's home in Delaware in 1959 when he was a teenager, but there is no evidence that Biden was among of those arrested. Yeah, I mean, during the vetting process, God forbid anybody has access to your public records. Ultimately, after he was called out for his claims about activism, for allegedly plagiarizing speeches, and for he was caught for that. He plagiarized some speech from the Labour Party or the something party. It was some kind of like niche party from the UK. I remember that one. He allegedly plagiarized and for misrepresenting his academic record. So he lied about some kind of degree that he got then. So that's just another thing to throw Biden under the bus for. At least I didn't fucking lie on my resume in 1988. The White House did not respond to a request for comment, defending systematic racism and realizing this nation's promise for all its people has been a driving cause of Joe Biden's life. White House spokesman Andrew Bates told the Washington Post when asked about the Biden's claims during the 2020 campaign. He is proud to have stood against the scourge of segregation and would use every day in the White House to bring our country together and uphold the rights and dignity of every single American. I mean, it's sure, I'll believe that. Um, Yep. I love how, when I was a kid, I remember like people were talking about revolution and all this, crap. But I've never heard about people talking about civil war. Because, I feel like you can joke about wanting to go to fucking, like, you know, basically conducting insurrection, right? But I don't think it's much of a joke when civil war is essentially on the table. It's just kind of crazy to me that, like, somebody would... I mean, I get it. It happens, and, like, brothers in arms and all, but, like... Or, like, actually... that's not actually the correct term there. Brother, yeah, but yeah, I mean, going against essentially, like, the opposite of that, um, like brothers going against brothers and families going against family. I mean, it's obviously this is, you know, was true during the Civil War, in the 1860s. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, so I mean, Civil War, man. I think it was something around 56% of Republicans are thinking about like that Civil War is a real possibility within the near future. I wonder how many like I wonder what percent of that like of Democrats think that this will. 2 out of 5 Americans. So 2 out of 5 Americans say that there's a fucking civil war gonna happen, and it doesn't like differentiate between. The poll found that 75% of Republicans believe that the political divisions have worsened. Okay. 72% of Republicans also say that political divisions will only deteriorate further in the next few years. A sentiment 58% of Democrats and independents agree with them. With the political divisions fiercing, 54% of respondents who identify strong Republican believe that it is very unlikely or somewhat unlikely that the U.S. will be engaged in civil war within 10 years, compared to 40% of strong Republicans 40% of strong Democrats who believe that. January 2021 saw two momentous events: inauguration of Biden on January 20th and the attack of the Capitol by the mob of the then president Donald Trump supporters on January 6th. I mean, one date came before the other, but let's just, mush it up however we want. Biden entered the White House after pledging to unify the country during his presidential campaign. He hit those themes in his inaugural address. We can join forces, stop the shouting, lower the temperature. But without unity there is no peace, only bitterness and fury, no progress, only exhausting outrage, no nation, only a state of chaos. This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge, and unity is the path forward, Biden said. According to the poll, the political temperature has gotten higher since then. Juxtapose Biden's remarks on January 20th with his comments last week at a rally in Maryland when he talked to Democratic supporters about MAGA Republicans. We are seeing now either the beginning or the death knell of an extreme MAGA agenda, Biden told the gathering in Rockville. It is not just Trump, it's almost semi-fascism. I just want to point out, on the political spectrum, if we're only going on a linear point that while fascism is further right than communism, and if we look at it historically, what Nazism is, it's a alternative form of socialism, hence the National Socialist German Workers' Party, Nazis. Right? Right, and so saying that fascism is associated with the right is just inherently wrong. First off, what is the fundamental beliefs of the Republican Party? I'll answer that for you. It's laissez-faire. And if we all can recall back to our middle school and maybe high school education, laissez-faire or laissez-faire refers to a government with hands free, meaning that they don't get involved within their citizens' day-to-day lives, whether that be sexual orientation, whether that be education, whether that be business and compliance handling, so on and so forth. And the extreme of that, the most right you can go is anarchy, which means that there is no government and whatever. And of course, some argue that libertarianism is the extreme of that, being that libertarians don't believe that the government can handle anything and that everything should be privatized, including parks and recreations and so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, it's just generally an oddity, if you will. It's not necessarily something that I deem as something being normal. Shit, what were we talking about here? No, the great thing here is that I can just rewind. Baby, I'm an island boy. YouTube Studios. Don't allow content. Live. That's interesting. Apparently, I'm not streaming right now. That's interesting. And whatever. And of course, some argue that libertarianism is the extreme. Right. So, yeah. So what were they saying here? Nazism is... Oh, semi-fascism. Okay, so they're relating the Republican Party to fascism. That's so crazy to me. That's honestly stupid. Is that me viewing that right now? Hello? Of that being that libertarians don't believe. Is that me viewing that? Hello? Alright, but yeah, so semi-fascism. So yeah, so like I said, the right, that's what their fundamental beliefs are. The left you can consider to be anything that is associated outside of that. So any kind of government that wants to be involved. Of course, closer and closer to the center you come, it's understood that, hey, they're... So Republicans understand that, hey, you can't have a country without a government, an effective government efficiency and blah, 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 blah. Libertarians say that the government doesn't know, while it needs to exist in terms of foreign relations, it doesn't need to exist with regards to how, like, they monitor, or they need to essentially oversee, if you will, the growth and development of the United States, whether that be looking through economic standpoint or even from a social standpoint. And you can see that very clearly in North Korea and China, where there's communism being implemented within their society, where socially you can be restricted from moving from point A to point B because you need to get a permit from, there is no freedom of travel in China. You need to get a permit to travel. And in North Korea, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but there isn't enough information to even say that for sure. I am only basing, and in the Soviet Union, going back to, that time period, the the fact of the matter is that, there was a foreign passport, and there's a domestic passport, and then you have an ID. So your ID confirms that both of these two other official documents are legitimate, because otherwise it's so easy to apparently forge documents, which I understand how back in the day, and I'm talking about really back in the day, that it's not a problem. From what I understand, it literally was like scratch off a number and writing in yourself. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. So yeah, to associate, again, going back to the original conversation, to associate the Republican Party with any sort of hard big government kind of idea is kind of fundamentally wrong. It's not even kind of fundamentally wrong. It is fundamentally wrong based on the actual, like, you know philosophy of what it is to be a Republican. It's quite interesting. Um, so yeah, I mean, you can say that it's right compared to socialism, but there's no way in hell that Republicans are going to side on the side of fascism based on what I never understood what this idea of fascism, what everybody thinks fascism, like, what can somebody explain to me what fascism is? Because I know what fascism is. Do you know does anybody know what the definition of fascism is? Apparently not. See, the definition of fascism means that you're, and obviously I'm not coming off of like the Webster dictionary or whatever. This is me, coming out of my own ass. The definition of fascism is when one person is in charge. Essentially, he would appoint people to be in charge of specific industries and other things, and they would nationalize natural resources within the borders. So whether that be oil, copper, steel, so on and so forth, those industries, whatever they produce, are now in the nation's favor. So think about the Volkswagen and why it became a thing. It became a thing because Hitler said there needs to be a commercially, I'm sorry, not just commercially, but a vehicle available to the everyday consumer of the German population. That's not to say that, hey, the that doesn't work out. I mean, social planning and that kind of, not fixed economics, but planned economics. There you go. It works in the sense that, if you have a crippled economy, you can kind of, as a government body, you have that, I guess, leeway, for lack of better terms, to be able to take charge and, produce essentially what is necessary in the quantities that are necessary. Of course, when that tends to happen, there seems to be production losses, and that actually can be noted during World War II on the American side, actually, where Henry Ford was brought in to create an assembly line for the bombers and the P-38s and so forth, so on and so forth. Um, when he was in the process of that, the government kept on giving him different modifications, different changes, you know, and what was supposed to be a production line of one plane an hour ended up being, oh well, because this change needs to be done, we need to bring this plane back for, reassembly, or this part needs to become taken out before we can proceed with the changes here. So, you know, in an ideal world, everybody will always like have an amendment to their, you know, assembly line or whatever. Of course, fast forward to modern age, the United States, Germany, most first world countries don't rely on heavy industry, or I'm sorry, while they do rely on heavy industry, they don't. It's not their main source of good. Fuck. I am blanking on this word. GDP. I think gross. No, whatever. But we all know what I mean. But yeah. So. I think the sun's starting to come up, hopefully. My son, my son, my son's on heavenly water.
biggest mistake of your lousy career. If I wouldn't have slowed down, y'all was not gonna catch me. And let me be in that new scat pack. Suck off on y'all dumbass. You two fuckers just made the biggest mistake of your lousy career. If I wouldn't have slowed down, y'all. Smile. Smile. Scientists in Trinidad and Tobago believe. 911, what's your emergency? I'm dead. I think I'm dead. Oh, time's going by really, really, really slow. So I pulled over to fix my window wiper, and a dog hopped in my car. I'm not mad at it, but I kinda gotta go to work. Is this your home? Is this where you live? You ready to get out? We in Chicago. I gotta see this because, that's the crib and everything. So, what we got here? Walking up to the police. Who walks up to the police car? Hey, Sarge, how you doing? Oh, God. All right, you. What's going on up here tonight? All right, you look good and everything, baby. I want you to stick that taser up my ass, honey. Go ahead. Reasons why my girlfriend is mad at me. Number one, I went to sleep too early because I had to wake up early for work. That's my fault. I should have just stayed up with her all night and then gone to work really tired and probably crashed and died. We haven't been able to do anything fun or travel because of COVID. Again, that's my fault. I should have discovered the cure 5 years ago. She got a 95 on her test and not 100. That's my fault. I should have known that the last question on the test was going to be true and not false. Number 4, she hit a curb. I should have talked to the city beforehand to get that curb removed. Again, that's my fault. 5, I drank the last energy drink. That's on me. I should have gone to work really tired and let Jesus take the wheel. 6, the cashier was flirting with me and I didn't know. I should have choke-slammed the cashier before she even said anything, so that's my fault. And 7, we don't go to the same university. That's my fault again. When I got my rejection letter, I should have talked to the dean, let him know that my future girlfriend was going to be here and that I need to be here. So, yeah, it's my fault. Reasons why my girl... Alright, bro. Have a good day, bro. I thought you said that. Well, don't play like that. You can't play like that.
Alrighty. Now that it's starting to get light out, let's start moving. So the trick is you want to come up to the tree lines though. Use the trees. Then be your best friends. What the hell? This is an official server, just letting y'all know. Hello, viewer. Hey, what's up, Chris? Chillin', bro. I found this fucking base over here yesterday. Hold on. It's mad stacked. Here, actually, let me go back to show you real quick. So, it was already rated and shit, but there was a lot of gear left over. There's actually like a car, like the chassis there, but they removed all the tires, the spark plug, and the radiator. So I know I have a car battery. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to get the spark plug and the radiator. Yeah, and we'll be driving this bitch out. And apparently these guys were like fucking rolling, bro. Cause like, so they were chilling here with this like double gated fence thing, and then they had a car here parked. Nah, the chassis is fine. See? I mean, it's yellow, I guess. But yeah, and then so they had this shit. They had guard towers, another double airlock, but like I've been working on this since like yesterday, and look how many fucking crates they had here. So I'm trying to take all the crates from here all the way to my base. Yeah, no, dude, like this server, there's nobody on right now, so I don't have to. I mean, I have my head on a swivel, but like not, I'm not that engaged. When I was approaching here, right after like the sun started coming up, I was a little cautious. But once the sun starts coming up, I know that nobody's coming here. I found the Hot Wheel button. Noise, indeed. I'm pretty sure I picked up this M16 from there too. So like it was looted, but like there was still stuff there, if that makes sense. Yeah. The only thing ruined on the car that I saw was a oh shit, what is that shit called? The headlights. That sickness you have comes from rags that haven't been disinfected. I think you're going to need either tetra or charcoal tablets to heal. You can eat charcoal tablets? I have both at my camp. Yeah. I don't honestly know how to fucking cure sickness. I've been trying to sit next to the fire and try to, like, naturally, like, let it go, but it didn't fucking work. This doesn't go away. I think it's an annoying. It's annoying, but that's just how it is. Yeah. Fortunately, yeah. One of these bushes has my base. This is the part that fucking bugs me out with this fucking, like, with building in the woods. I can't fucking find. Yep, good. Thank you, my man. I appreciate the advice. Chishoon. Found it. Damn, son. There we go. Boom. Alright, so now let's figure this out. Charcoal, charcoal, charcoal. Charcoal. Okay. Yo, get a load of this guy. You know the Mr. Harvey. The one that talks about gats, but won't bust nobody. My money doesn't jiggle, it falls. Bye. Oh, what the fuck happened that my fucking Wi-Fi sucks, huh? Hello, viewer. How are you? Oh. Damn, son. Oh my god, imagine thinking that deviating from the status quo is something wrong. Ah! Ok. Сейчас иду. Сейчас иду, сейчас иду.
Мне еще печут, я хочу, чтобы ты попробовал.
Окей.
Понравится ли тебе?
Окей. Спасибо. New structure added.
Oh.